You come here for which? Ndio nisikia ile wanasema.
Lillian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kidi. Hi.
I'm fine. Where's your mask?
Long time. I'm all alone.
Okay, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Okay.
Lillian, you're not all alone. We are there.
I'm all alone where I am, so
Oh,
the ministry discussion. I don't need a mask. Kidi is asking where is my mask.
that's
And
enough.
Fred Mosoti, how are you? Ogada, how are you?
Daktari vipi? Are you Ombiro?
I'm fine, Mr. Kidi. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine. How do you? I can see Mulindi, Okulo, Daktari,
Hi,
Yeah,
Ombiro.
Ogada,
and the people and the
Ogada
members are not.
Fred. I can see.
People are not putting on masks.
Kidi, you don't have a mask. I think we start with you. Madam Owago, Esther, Priscilla, and Kinyanji Peter. You're welcome. Adem and Madam Odago. I think we have a forum. We can start with that. There are 16 members. So we go straight to why we are in the meeting. Mr. Bidi, you had suggested that we need to have a classes with the boys, and therefore we went ahead to have a Zoom account for Alliance High School. This is the one we're using right now. It's identified as Alliance. It can take up to 500 students, and it has a number of things. I just want to take you through a number of things that we do. We don't want more during a class. Maybe when you have a class in the morning, when you start it and then you find there's something you are unable to do, or it's at the time you're learning, and therefore we can talk about it now. It will be easier for you to pick it up, especially given that you're actually not using your account. We're using this school account at this time.
Ombiro. Mr. Ombiro?
I'm listening, sir.
Yes. I don't know whether we have a quorum now. Maybe we can catch up a bit as we. Maybe you can tell me as the host how many you have on that side.
I think
how many do you have now? We are around 20.
Yeah, we're 18 now. Oh yeah, actually you're right. More are coming in. I can see my.
Yes. So I'm saying because it's our first meeting.
Yes.
Maybe we can give guys an allowance of 5 minutes. Then we'll be able to start. Meanwhile, what we can do, we can think of the areas of challenges that people have even before we start, so that if there is a session for questions, then we are prepared for that.
I think that's in order, sir. We can do that. If there's anything else, we can give them some small 3 more minutes, 5 minutes, then we start. That'll be okay. As you're saying, it's true, the numbers are increasing. I can see more coming in. Then I think we can give them a little more.
I can see Lillian there, very cool. I mean, very
Hi,
happy
Lillian.
without a mask.
Hi.
I can see Nakitali has taken a different pose. Kidding, instead of putting on a mask, you are putting on earphones.
Exactly.
Madam Mulindi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
We are fine. Mai, you're just coming in. You can say hi to members of your staff.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, how are you, Madam Mai?
I'm fine.
Karibu.
Thank you.
Donata. Donata, you can say hi. Okay, seems like her microphone has a problem. Our deputy Kinyanji is in. No, I can't see him. Sorry, not Kinyanji. Nakitare tusalimie kabla.
Niko sawa.
Thank you, sir. We got you. This is Mosoti Fred. You can say hi to the staff.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Hi to you. Zamza just came in. Say hi. Zamza, your microphone is off. Therefore, Priscilla, you can say hi. Madam Priscilla.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hi. But we can't see you.
Yeah, I'm invisible, but I'm good.
Owago Esther, you can say hi.
Meeting. I'm in the meeting.
Owago also has her microphone is muted, so we can be able to talk to her.
Hello, I'm in.
Oh, thank you, Madam Owago. We can hear you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Madam Indeche, I think your numbers
Oh,
are.
see, I sent you the details to send it. Look at your
Indeche.
Habari za Hello, good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is Ombiro talking? He's muted.
Wamenyamaza kweli.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm sorry for that.
Can you stop again?
Yes. Luthomia has come in.
Mr.
Thank you. Yes.
I feel the numbers are now, we have a good quorum now. We can begin with the basic.
Great. But we recognize Mr. Kinyanjui has just joined us, our deputy. Kinyanjui Karibu. And Kevin Kimitai and Nathan Luthomia. They have just come in right now. We appreciate it. And Beldin Kirito. So we can begin.
The brother is in the house.
Yeah. So the first thing that will happen is when you have a schedule put on the timetable, if you look at that timetable, you have about 1 hour and 20. For purposes of understanding each other, I'll have to mute you all briefly so that you can all start. So what I've done, I've just muted all of us so that we're able to hear, because sometimes sound can come from all of us, but you have the ability to unmute yourself even after muting. So the first thing I'm going to do is to share my screen, because that is what you're likely to see as a teacher when you're handling the students. So I'll share my screen so that you can see what I'm seeing. And when you interact with the boy or the students, you can be able to see the same thing. Then I'll show you how we do that. Oops. Sorry. So good. So I'm sure you can see my screen from where you are. You can confirm that. Just unmute yourself if you need to communicate. No. You are, by teaching, you can have it in 2 ways. So you can turn off the microphones and then we proceed. A screen like what I have will not be different with what you'll be having and what you've been having on a private session with your other accounts. The first process of working with the system is the same, but we'll share a link like the one we shared today for each lesson. So you're going to have only one link, and the one link, the ID is right here. I want to share it with you. Let me put the ID. So for all meetings, they'll use, even if your parents ask you, we'll be using the same ID, and the ID is this that we shared with all of us. Let me read it for you. It's right here on my phone. Now, the password is also the same for all of them, 00902. That is the password for all meetings, for all boys, for any class. So we shall use the meeting ID, the number 548063. Let me just type it here because I'm sure you can see my screen now. So this will be for all the meetings. This is the first question a parent will ask you. How will I join that? It's 548 063 57 95. That will be the meeting ID for all our classes. And then number 2 is the password, which I said it's going to be password 00902. That is the meeting password and the like. This is the first. And the password. Good. Point number 2 I wanted us to share about is owning the host. When you're going to be the one, so I'm going to stop sharing briefly because that is another very important point. I'm going to give this to one person to see how to run it. So Mr. Mbidi, when you're the one running the class, what you shall do, we'll give you, you're going to be the host of that. So from my computer, I'm making you the host. Now anything you see?
Host now, I can see. Yeah, I am the host now.
Now you are the host. So meaning you can now run the meeting that's with your boys at that time. So when you become the host, you understand what the host data entails. It means you are able to remove, mute, a number of things with running the class and the like. So for each user, every time you have a class, you're going to be allowed. So if anybody does not know how being a host is going to be, I can make you a host right now. And then you see the features you come across, what you have. Because at the end of the session, you have some questions maybe you have before you face the boys. So when you're a host, and in this process, therefore, I've made Mr. Mbidi the host. I am no longer the host of that because I made him the host. Point number 3 of our learning today is content sharing. Some stuff like the ones I was with yesterday said they already have content on PowerPoint, and some already have it in Microsoft Word. The process you'll use to share that will include the sharing like the ones we did. So at your screen, you should see something at the bottom written share screen. I'm sure all of you can see that. Share. So that's the button you click. And when you click it, you'll be able to pick your work and display it. So Mr. Mbidi, you can hand over the host to me.
Yes.
You can hand over the host to me.
Sorry?
You can hand over the host to me. Make me the host. So look at my picture. At the small picture on the top right corner, you should see 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots. 3 dots. you should see top right corner. In the top right corner, you can see the 3 dots.
They're not visible from this side.
Catherine anachekelea Mbiti eti haoni hiyo button. Mbiti knows how to do these things.
Yes, but I'm saying, where are we?
So this is also what we shall be doing. We shall be handing over class to the next person. We will have to give the host to the person who comes next. So meaning if your class ends at 9:30, you can hand over the host to the next person. So look at my picture, just hover over my picture, put the cursor over my picture. On the top corner of that picture, you should see some 3 dots.
Ombiro, we cannot see the dots.
They are not asking you.
What are those dots, baby? How many?
You move the cursor to the picture. Move the cursor to the picture.
Yes, it's there.
Oh yeah, it's written.
Lost it.
Okay, so remember that the host has the power to share the content. That is why we want people to give me the host details, then I'm able to share. This is to prevent boys and other people sharing content that without your authority and the like. So Mbidi has not succeeded yet to share to make me a host.
Mr. Ombiro.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering whether the dots are on your face or they're on the screen.
Look at the square holding my picture. You can see that square.
There. I'm already there.
You can see the dots on the top right corner of that square.
There are no dots on the right top corner. What is there? Mute, whatever, recording. Then the other one is pause the recording. The other one is stop recording. Then when I go across, it's just blank. Maybe you removed me from hosting.
No, you are the host right now.
Confirm again, I'm still hosting.
Hello.
Because the dots are not appearing.
The latest. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Mbidi, you are using only, you don't use the entire screen, but I'm sure you can see more people and their faces. It is on that one person's face. On that one person is rectangular. There should be some 3 dots. If you cannot see until you look for your mouse.
Those are there. Those dots are there.
When I'm using the phone, where are the dots?
you hover your mouse over that picture.
Over mouse where? And we are, for us, you're using the phone.
Oh, okay, no problem. Still, if you're using the phone next to the person, Mr. Mbidi, you're using a phone?
No. I'm just using my laptop. So, Mr. Ombiro,
yes.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to make me a host.
Okay, yeah, stop talking then. I will make you a host. Ombiro, you are the host now.
Okay, very
Ombiro,
good.
you are the host now.
Very good. Yeah, I can see that. So, members, maybe you can try that, but I don't want to try it again on someone, but I want us to try and see with your phone or with your laptop how you can hand over host to someone. Because after you run your lesson of 1 hour, 20 minutes over, you leave the host to another person to continue running it. And it seems to have taken some time for
Maybe
Mr.
Ombiro.
Yes.
Mr. Ombiro, just let the colleagues know you are not clicking on the screen, on the picture on the screen, the main one. It is the top one where there's an array of.
Both of them can read that. You can still use the, you can actually use the participants window, all of them, and still pick a person from there. That's right. You can use an array of participants, or you can still go to an individual person you can see on the screen and you share. Very good. So I was talking about those members of staff who already have their content on their flash disk or prepare the content in a PowerPoint. I'm sure what you need to do, the process of sharing is very easy. I'm going to take that on about 1 minute to demonstrate that. So I'm going to use one file in my computer. So the first thing to do is to open your file. So in my computer, what I've done, I've opened the PowerPoint file. Step 2, on your screen, you should see a button for share screen. It should be green in color, most likely. So you click on that button, share. The third stage, you'll be presented with all open applications. If you have a Microsoft Word, a website, YouTube that is open, you will see it. Then pick that you want. So mine has just opened. And I'm now going to share with you. So I click on the green button. I click on the PowerPoint and click on share. So notice that you should be able to see my work on your screen at this stage. So if you make it full screen, like a presentation, you can still present it like any other work. You can still present it on the like. Sorry. So you can actually continue sharing like any other. If it's a PowerPoint, like I said, those ones who asked yesterday, that's what you should do. You can take students through point by point. Something that I wanted to note on this area before we leave it is that some boys may be naughty, and what they do, they can pick annotation. On your screen, hover your mouse at the top. Those who are using the mobile, just tap inside that PowerPoint show. If you tap, you should see something written annotate or annotate. If you click on annotate, you should be able to see different colors, text, and even draw with colors. So you may notice that once you pick the color, you can actually draw over your content, or you can add additional explanations. You want to demonstrate something on that. That is common. Boys may start by, first of all, picking and trying to scribble over your work. What you should not do is to worry about it, because what you've done, I think we've disabled it for now. We've disabled the annotation for students. It is just for the teachers who have the ability to use that. So you shouldn't worry about that. Sometimes a student may do work and you may want the student to share your work so that you can able to see on your screen or the rest of the students to see. Then you should allow them to share the screen and the like. So it means it is you who is the host, who is running a lesson, who will allow the students to share that, to share the screen at that time. Like, and on your main screen, I'm going to stop sharing briefly. Stop sharing so you can able to see each other. So on your main screen, you should be able to see all your members, and you can allow allow the sharing of the screen from. You should do something like security. Security. If you can see security, you tap on it. Because you are the host at that time, you see security, tap on security, then click on share screen. That's all. Then you're able to allow that student to share the work with you. Still on the same area is some students may be naughty. We've seen that. May want to write unprintable characters on the class. The rest can see. We have two ways of handling that. One, you can put them on the waiting room. So you put them out briefly. Of course, the person you can talk to them. You can put them in the waiting room, or so that you block them out, or you can choose to take any other step that will include disabling sending of public messages. We want to leave it open because you might ask a question and you want the answers typed by the students. They'll do it very fast. But I'm saying some students may be naughty. Those who have already shared or done an online class, you can tell what you've seen. So under security, you should see remove participant, and you're also going to see enable waiting room. So those are the two things that you will be interested in. From security, we have said you can see share screen, you can see remove participant, you can see enable waiting room. That way you can handle your voice. You can able to handle those kind of instances that may arise during that time. Next is there are those classes that have groups, let's say history, geography, and theory. Then we introduce something called breakout rooms. Breakout rooms, and on the bottom of your screen, we've enabled those breakout rooms, which can enable you to divide the groups and have them in their own group. I'm going to do a sample set here by putting some stuff on a certain group and others on another subgroup. It's like a subset of the main group. So on the bottom of your screen, where you can see share screen, security, there's a new button that you'll see called breakout rooms. We've enabled it for this version, this account. When you click on it, you will see how many participants you have, and you can do automatic moving or decision. You can say what you want. For example, you can say manually, you can say, I would want to have this number of participants, create a room, type the room name, how many you want to assign them in each room, and the like. So you can move people between rooms. Done that. This is going to have 333 per room, and the like. But when you are the host, you should see the ability to create. But then I'll guide you on that also, because for the first 3 or 4 sessions we have been together on how to do the breakout rooms. Suppose having 2 classes or 3 classes or groupings and the like. Some stuff I'd asked about YouTube. You may want to share YouTube with your members directly from the internet. You choose the same process of what you said, share screen. as long as you already have what you want to show them open, the first thing to do is to open it. So in my computer here, I've just opened a YouTube. And now, if I want to share with all the boys that time, is to use the share screen, like I'm doing now, and then you'll share with the rest. Because those ones ask about whether you'll have to require another system. So I'm sure you can see my YouTube screen, and you can all the students can participate in that. You can also some people hear that because I'm sure you got the point. You have a question, just write it on the left, I'm able to get it. The next point I would say is that if you notice the time, how much time you have for the class is that there's an extra. The reason there's an extra 20 minutes or so is because of the connection timings problems here and there. Some parents will join in late and the like. So you have the 20 minutes to try and make sure you make your class into your class and start straight, because the timings, the next classes start after 2 lessons, that is after 8 minutes at that time. So what I'm expecting tomorrow morning is that chances are the first class will overrun the next class.
Okay.
Benson.
Yes.
Kanaje tunakusikia. So you can mute your microphone. Yeah. Thank you. So, Mr. Kinyanjui Peter, you can say something? You're asking something?
I'm wondering what kind of background we need in order to host our lesson. Is it in a background or just a specific background?
You actually, the only thing you need is a cool environment, because for everything you speak and you're in a noisy environment, all your students will hear that. So the better if you have a better quiet environment, if you're asking about a better environment, that's all. Because the moment you're in a noisy place, you may not be able to.
Yeah. I'm just able to write back to them the answers.
I think your network is not stable, so I'm hearing you in a bit. I didn't get you very well.
Okay, I'm asking.
Yes, sir.
If I want students to write back to me,
yes,
the answer to a certain question,
yes,
what is the procedure?
Thank you. That's a very good question. The first thing to do is what kind of question is it? And I will be introducing something at the end of this session, one of other ways of getting answers from students. I'll introduce it towards the end. But for now, the first thing that you need to know about is the chat section. There is a chat section. There is a chat section. Chat.
Chat.
Can you somewhere there written chat? So if you can see the chat, what you write on chat will be directed to a specific person, or it can go to the entire group. For example, if I write, how are you? I'm sure all of you will get your message to each one of your computers. You've seen that. Mr. Kenji, you can see the message? Yeah. So if they can use the chat to communicate to all of us and the like. When you ask a question and you want an answer instantly, you can talk using that. Option 2, you can mute the rest of your team and you only unmute that person to talk as the rest are listening for an immediate answer. And option 3, if it's a question paper that has more questions, you can provide an email address and they'll send you an email with the results. If something is going to be, so if you write an email, for example, and share, then that will be the email they use to share with you the work.
Mr. Ombiro.
The fourth way I said I'll show it at the end. So I'm not showing it right now. I'll show it when we are about to finish. Yeah. I'm sure that is clear, Mr. Pinanji.
Very clear, sir.
Thank you. Thank
yes.
you.
Mr. Ombiro.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's something we need to clarify. Hope you can hear me.
I can hear you very well.
Some of the features that you are describing, they can only be visible to someone when they are a host. When you're not a host, like the security features, you can't see them.
Yes, you
so
can't see them.
These are not see some of these features you are describing.
That is what I kind of.
When you are a host, you can see the security details.
I agree with you, sir. That is correct. That when you are a host is when you can get some of these features. But I said earlier on that we mentioned them first, then you can learn how to use them. I said we might not manage to make each of you a host right now, which we will, but not right away. But at that time, if we said you'll get share screen on security, if we said you'll get enable waiting room on security, if you said remove a participant from security, then when you click security, you'll see all that and see how to use that. That's a clarification. Very true. That is true. So we will make you a host, and you see some of those features we're talking about. Sorry, you may not see some, but I wish you could just note them down, like what I said. I'm sure during the first 2 sessions might be tricky, but afterwards you'll find it easier to manage that. Great. So on the feedback, is there any other question maybe up to where we are right now? All right. If there is no other question, we can move to the next item I wanted us to share. It's called the, somebody would call it a blackboard. I'm calling it by its name. It's called the whiteboard. Oh, sorry, my computer cannot share screen. Mr. I want to make someone a host to share the whiteboard for us. Who also has a laptop? Because Mr. Mbidi was able to take back to the host very quickly, I'm going to make him a host. And I want him to share the whiteboard where you can write something for your students or demonstrate something on that. Mr. Mbidi, you are ready? So you are the host. I want you to share the screen.
Yes.
But then you choose the whiteboard.
Share the whiteboard, huh?
Yes.
There we are.
Very good. So when you share a whiteboard, what you see on your screen is what? You can write something on it. You can write something? Okay. Okay. The point is that when you share, they choose to share. There's a microphone making noise. There's a microphone making noise. There's a microphone that is making noise. So, look at that. You can share the content. You can share with your students. As I said, but also said, be careful. Hey, there's some sound coming.
You unmute them.
Mr. Mbili, you are the host.
That's from my side.
Can you mute all of us? see where that noise is coming from? You can check.
Mr. Ombiro.
Yes.
Tell the host to mute everyone. Tell Mr. Ombiro
Yes,
to
that's what
mute
we do now.
everyone.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Back to you, Mr. Ombiro.
Yeah, it's given over
Back to you.
So we muted them all for now. Very good. We can continue with the rest. I'm going to stop this. Mr. Mbith, you can stop sharing the screen.
Okay. Okay, back to you.
Great, thank you. So this is when you want to pass a message, you can still use that to share and write something. I think all of us are on picture on that. The last area I wanted us to look at before you ask questions is you may want to have an interactive session with your boys where students can participate and you participate too. And for us to achieve that, on my side, I'll log it from my side so that you can see how to do it because you are the host. Therefore, I'm going to share my main screen. I take you through some of those steps on how to achieve that or what you're going to do to achieve that. So let's see. Oh, am I muted?
We are getting you, Mr. Ombiro.
Thank you, thank you. So then I can proceed. So I wanted to share this screen. I'm sharing that. There we are. So I'm going to share the screen right now. I'm going to, and then log in. Sorry, it's logging in slowly. So we'll start by using this number. Open your computer or your phone. If you have another phone, I'll prefer use another phone if possible. In this other phone, I would wish you to open up. I wish you to type there menti.com, for example.
Sorry?
So I'm going to share the screen. You'll type menti.com.
Can you type that on a notepad?
Menti, you can see I've shared the screen and at the top you can see where it's written, go to www.menti.com. You can use another phone, you can use your phone, or you can use, I prefer you to use another phone because I want you to see. So if possible, use another phone there, near there, or another computer if you have, and then you type menti.com. It will ask you for a code and you put that code that is there, 328918. Are we there? Are we there? Menti.com. Menti.com. How many already there? Just for the sake, you can just type a message. Ndio, I'll answer to your points just briefly. If you are already on menti.com, Just you can confirm because I want to see at least 2. We don't have to be there, all of us. Just type menti.com. I've already shared with you. All right, I can see a kid is already okay. Okay. If you're already there, all of us, therefore I've shared my screen again. You'll be asked for a code. Enter that code, 328918. And as you enter the code, there's a question there, like the one that we've just written as a sample. When was Alliance High School founded? Just pick your answer. So I want you to look at your screen, the feedback as it comes in.
Yes.
So that interaction where you can have the boys participate on a question, and as they answer, already I can tell only 5 people have answered, 6 people so far. Seven people so far, 8 people have answered. All right. Are we waiting for anybody? We proceed? No. So, for those who are asking, I think Mr. Kinyanjui was mentioning about, Mr. Kinyanjui Peter, I mentioned about an instance where you want to have feedback from the boys. You ask a question and you want their answers right there. This is one of the methods. I'll guide you on how to do that. It's a very quick one. And you can ask a question regardless of where they are. They can answer questions. So, and you can tell that one person has answered 1963, 7 have answered 1926, and have answered 1918. So you can see more answers over that and the like. Just to get to understand it, I can ask a second quick question. So there we are. Are you ready? We're starting now. The second quiz. Okay. Okay, those who are ready, I can see waiting for members. We have about some numbers already in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For more. Okay. So I can see we have enough. We have a quorum now. We can now ask the question. Anybody still waiting for? Let me see. No one else. You can proceed. Start. So you can answer that question. The faster you answer, the more the points. There the question is, how many streams are in Form 3? Answer. Your answer. You can answer. Just feed your answer. How many streams? Great. Time is up. So that is another way that you can see already we have only 2 people have got it right. 6 people got it wrong. And that interaction can also be very used to the boys. So this is another format of question where you give them what you call a timed class. And when they answer, they can see the result there and then for all of them. You can award them a result on that. So you can still use different formats. And from here, we can now tell that whoever is calling himself Homer was the fastest. So I don't know who that is, but he's gotten that because he answered very quickly. He was very fast to answer. And we congratulate Fred also, Fred and Walmart and Charlotte and the others. So that's another way we're going to track the boys using the online system. I'll just give you an example on that. Suppose you wanted to ask a question like this one: which is the most loved subject you teach? Just type a number, just type a subject. I'll call you. I'll call you. I'll call you. I'm in a meeting. Yeah, I'm in a meeting, please. So look at that. We have answers are coming in. So these are feedback from the boys or from the students. If you take it in that kind of scenario, you ask a question. As they type the answers, you can see computer, Kiswahili, chemistry, English, geography, and physics. So as they answer the questions and feed, whatever you see is there what the boys will see, and they can answer question based on that. It's very interactive. So you're not going to have them as just listeners, but participants in the same category. The size of the word you see depends on the number of answers you received. So it means many answers have come with chemistry, and Kiswahili and computer are very small. So the size depends on how many people have answered on that point of the light. So that is one way to interact with the boys, because I had two sets, which I'll show you that. And our intention is just to make sure the boys have, you don't get to bore them when you're interacting on the like. That question. I think another format which I wanted to learn, because I want to show you now how to create the account and also manage the boys with that. I'll play slide 2, like this one. For those of you who are online, you should be able to see, so just change the code. You go to Menti and you put that code. So you can use pictures also. Those in biology, physics, you can use a picture like what I've done. Let's try that out. You change the code now, so you can log out and log in again, but put that code, 873161. So the question is, which picture does not represent a computer input device? So you can use pictures in your subject, and then the answers can be like what you've seen here. Only 2 people have answered, and that is what you will see, like what I've done. Moving next, we don't have to take much time. We're not learning, we're just seeing how to use the tools. 4 people have answered. So I'll go next to the next question. And I want as many people as possible to join. This is 1, 2, 3, waiting for more, 5, 6. You get ready because it's also timed. It's a timed time, so it's within a given time. So you can join in and see. So you can't tell who they are. You just see the icons used. Waiting for players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 players so far. Okay. We can work with the 8. That's okay, because we're learning. You can see a button that I'm pressing at the bottom. If you look at my cursor, we have another person who's come in. Look at my cursor. When you click on Start Quiz, then the question will be displayed, and you have a timeline. So students, you can give them time. You can give it 1 minute, 30 seconds, or even 3 minutes. So I've clicked Start. So look at your name. Answer fast to get more points. So you answer it very fast as it comes. Which planet is closest to Earth? Just type it. You have 1 minute. You can see the countdown. Just answer any, just for the sake of learning. 30 seconds to go. So you are the teacher who will know how long a question will take. Some question you can give 2 minutes, some question you can give 30 seconds. So you can decide when you are asking, when you'll be designing that, how long it will be. 10 seconds to go. Everyone has voted. So let's have the results in. Good. So which planet is closest to Earth? The correct answer is Mercury. And you can see how all fared and like Mars and others were wrong based on that. Very good. Like. And I think the other method, because you can see the different questions, we are trying to different types of questions, yours and me. Very good try on that. I think the last one, you may want students to also ask any questions to the presenter, like what I've done, you can see there. So ask any question to the presenter. You can type a question and then see how, that's how you allow students to ask you questions on that. So you can try asking any question, be sure I will answer it. What did you eat? I ate pancakes. Donata, what is settling? I don't know. So when you allow the students to ask the questions, the public question, like you have the ability to Daluka in Mombasa. I'm going to mute you all again. Oh, Donato, thank you. Are you corona negative? Yes, I'm negative. I guess so.
I'm not getting your voice.
Oh, sorry. I can hear you better. Just turn off your microphone and your speakers. Is your speaker okay? Donata?
Yeah?
Yeah, just turn off the speaker. Yeah, the microphone. That's okay. As long as you can hear. So this last part was before. Donata, I think there's still sound coming from. Okay. So you can see that you also have the ability to have students ask you questions. So the last part is therefore, how do we do these things? How are we going to have this done and the like? But first, maybe we ask Mr. Mbidi something. Let's see. Do you trust Mr. Mbidi? Let's see how you answer that. 10 seconds.
Wacha kulichoma picha. None of the options are correct.
Okay, so let's go back and see how to get to this one. So what you'll do as before you prepare for a lesson like that, the first thing to do is to open mentimeter.com. I'm sure you can see my screen. It's called mentimeter.com. So I'm going to log out so that you can go in step by step and you can see how you can organize your lessons also for that. If you type mentimeter.com, this is what you get. What you can see on my screen, that is what you get. So because you do not have an account, you sign up. If you have an account, you can log in. Like I'm doing. I'm using my Google credentials. So this is what you get when you logged in. I would wish you organize your work as using folders. You can see what I have here because you can have so many of them here. And so if you create a folder, let's create a folder and say Zoom. So click on a folder call it Zoom, where you'll have your work, and then create a folder. And then when you open Zoom, you can create a new presentation from there. You can see a button for create a presentation. Click on that. Then you can name your presentation. You can call it my first class, whichever way you call it. Then create. The resultant will be choosing what kind of structure of a question. When we were training, when we were using it, we saw various types of questions. Some that have multiple choices, answers. So in the next screen, you can choose what type of question you want asked. Just to note, every question will have its own number and the like. So those numbers are per a presentation. So a new presentation means a new number. The screen that you can see is what follows, and you can choose types of questions on your right. You can see multiple choice, word count, ranking, scales, image choices, open-ended questions, name them, or quiz competition, and the like what we saw. So let's pick a question like multiple choice. So you can pick that. And next thing is to type your question. Let's say, answer as possible. And then I say, for example, Baluka is how old? Then you can give the options. For example, that is it. You can go ahead and that is done. You can actually add another slide using this button. You can see it here. That gives you ability to type another question like a ranking question, word count. You can try a quiz competition, for example, like this one. All quiz competitions have got a leaderboard. So notice when I choose a competition, there is a leaderboard to show rankings as to how do they perform, who did well. So in the rankings, you can type a question, for example, if you ask, so if you type that,
I know too.
Okay, I got that. So notice that the questions you type there on the left, question slide 1, slide 2, and the leaderboard is for slide 2 because it's a quiz competition, and you can add another slide if you want. That's the same thing you do. Now, notice that at each slide, there is this code number. Like now, the code for what you created is 224708. So if I want you to participate on this, you click on present. You can see my cursor. I'm sure you can see that. Click on present, and then you ask the members to enter this number that you can see at the top here. So ask the students to put 924708, and then they answer the question. Like, you can try that. I'm doing it directly from the what we just created with you, and you can see the answer on that. Very good. So you can see the results are already in as you fill them, and that's how you get the rest. Now, how you navigate to the next point is use this arrow. The bottom. You can see my cursor. When you click next, I've lost connection. It's me. It's my issue here. So waiting for players to join in. We have enough. We have players. We can see 3 of them. So notice that as players are coming in, because this is a timed question, you need them to first of all be ready. That's why they are coming in. You want them to join first. Like, it means after you start the question, you have, let's say, 10 seconds. Like this one, I think is 15 seconds. Oh, no, 10 seconds, I think. We didn't specify so it uses the default 10 seconds. And then is if you're player 2, to be a player is very easy. When I can join menti.com. My phone, the number is 92 47 08. Submit. So I can give myself a name and then join the quiz. So we are all waiting. I am sure you should see my card. Yeah, my card is right here inside. Then I can start the quiz like we've created it. Answers first to get the points. So I can answer, for example, like. So after you answer from your phone or from Bibi has raised his hand, that's done. Any question on that?
No, I was testing.
Good. Any questions so far? Because I want us to close that up. Lutomia, you're asking for lunch. That's interesting. So any questions for colleagues? If anything that you think you may want us to share before we bring it to an end? Oh, sorry, I've muted all of you, so you may not be able to. This time around, I want us to unmute ourselves all. Just unmute your unmute. I want us to finish. That. Kogi, you are welcome. I didn't see you, and I've seen you now. I was not looking at you. Any question, please? So the good thing, we'll work together, we'll assist each other. We'll share the link. The link we have is what I'm sure you share with the parents, depending on the group you are. Because I know we have but we share with all the parents. Any other question you may ask Mr. Mbidi, you may ask me, you may ask Kihara or any other to assist in that. Unless there's a question, I think I should.
Mr. Ombiro.
Yes, please.
Excuse me.
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you.
You're able to hear me? Okay. I'm just asking, sorry I came late, that how many in the package of Zoom, how many co-hosts can it support?
You can put as many co-hosts as possible.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. So there'll be somebody managing the chat, or maybe because of those students will be coming late and muting them, removing them, those are misbehaving.
That's a good question that you said. In fact, that's what you're likely to experience. Those coming late, muting and muting, that will be the work of the host now. You, the person running that class. Because what you're doing is, we're giving you the host privileges when you're running the class. So you can be able to share the work. If you have a presentation, if you have anything to share, you can go to unmute, you can remove a student who is not participating, maybe doing his own. We've seen students being funny. The other week, students were writing funny things on the walls when you're talking. So therefore, you as a host, you have the privileges for that. Those kind of things. But then another thing we did before maybe another question comes in is we made it possible to do joining before the host. So if the lesson is at 8, they'll be able to join and be in class themselves even before you join in if you are there. I'm sure those who joined earlier noted that it didn't put you in the waiting room. As soon as you said join, you're already in class because of that. Can we answer your question, Mr. Mbano?
Yes, you have magnetically answered the question. I just want to add that whatever we are presenting, I guess every teacher is teaching all the streams. I understand that. That is it. So in that kind of a scenario, my advice, I think that we just make sure that at least there are two people, because one can manage the chat in terms of muting, because some students also do not understand they have not been using Zoom much, and they just be hindering, they have not muted themselves, and then they really try to interrupt the teacher while he's present. So that whoever is teaching, presenting, maybe will only focus on dissemination of the information rather than the lesson, then somebody else is managing the chat.
Can I say
Thank
something? Ombiro, can I say something?
Kwani imeenda break?
Amepotea. Mbidhi.
Yes.
Mbidhi. Yeah, I think
I can hear.
support. Mr. Mbidhi, sir.
Yes,
Who's the chair? Yeah, I think I support. I'm saying, I think I support what Mbaluka has said, because you can imagine I'm teaching, I'm at the same time managing all those students. It will not really be easy. So I think I support. I'm in support of what Mbaluka said, that we can have like 3 people co-host, so that at least one managing as the other one is teaching.
Yes, Madam Lillian. What we have done in the application, we've made it open. We don't need to admit the students, as Mr. Ombiro has mentioned. The only thing that may be a challenge is the management in terms of discipline and the charts. But remember, at the same time, you as the expert, you are the one with that knowledge of what to respond to. Suppose a student is asking a question that is history-based. It may not, or ever the person managing class may not have the correct response. So you are at a better position to answer the questions. Hope you get me, Lillian.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Question.
Billy?
Who's there?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear.
Yes.
I was saying the issue of hosting.
I can hear you, Mr. Nakitare.
I think the issue of co-hosting, we can co-host as a department, so that even those students have questions, the person co-hosting can be able to respond.
Background noise.
Hello?
There's some background noise.
A lot of background noise, Mr. Nakitare.
Yes.
But you can get me now. Hello?
I can hear you. Nakitari nakusikia vizuri, lakini kuna some echo. It's like,
You might be using two phones and
utapunguza sauti ya laptop ama ya mobile phone. punguze tu sauti ya laptop.
So what I was saying is, Ombiro.
Tunakusikia Ms. Naktari, go ahead. Nakusikia.
Okay, what I was saying is that we can co-host as a department. So if one
we can give you the host privileges. We can give you that to try. That's correct.
Yes.
So tukupatie.
What? What I say? I was just suggesting that in the issue of co-hosting, we co-host as a department. Like if it is chemistry department, if it is Ombiro,
it's an echo. There's an echo. There's too much echo on your machine. I think you have too much volume, probably on your laptop or your. So when you speak, what you say is also comes back as an input.
Oh.
If you can pull down the volume for some, or use the headphones if you have.
Let me chat then.
It can also be caused as a result of if you have two gadgets and they are very close together and you have already joined to Zoom. That could be the problem that is happening there.
That's another
In case he has two phones and both of them are joined, then he has
I think it's okay. Mr. Connectari, go ahead.
Let me chat.
Now you are okay. No, we can hear you now.
Okay. Ndio nilikuwa nasema the issue of co-hosting. I was saying we can co-host as a department. So that now, if it is Mbaluka, Otido, and maybe Njorogedi, they can have a lesson together. So that the two can be able to manage the class in terms of muting and all that, and muting and all those issues. Then one person can be giving the content. Is it possible?
Excellent. That's possible. Very possible. Excellent, actually. That's okay. That's perfect. That is possible, Mr. Nakitari. So once you get a host as a department, you can now choose who manages the students, who can remove the students who are not maybe cooperating and the like. That's why we said when you have privileges, you can do all that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Angige, naona kuna swali. All right, looks like he can't hear. Any other question? Okay, I think there being no other question.
Mr. Ombiro?
Yes, please.
No, I believe this was too much for one session. We might have forgotten at some few points. So is the session recorded so that we can go back to it later? Or is there a chance for remedial to kuone kando?
Thank you. It is recorded. You can we can share the link once it's done.
Okay.
And I will also advise you to record your classes. When you record your class, you can easily review how you did it. That's a good thing. So we made it recording to be mandatory.
And Mr. Ombiro?
Yes, please.
There was the issue of the Wi-Fi, like in the school, because it wasn't working like in the resource center. So we can't all mingle in one office. That's what I'd say.
For those in school, we'll be using AVR2. We have a smart board that has got 2 cameras and set for use. So you may not have to stay outside, maybe trying to dandia Wi-Fi. If you can use AVR2, as long as you make your case earlier, you have a lesson tomorrow afternoon, then you are given access to the room and also the smart board that has all the devices. It has a camera, it has a microphone, it is connected. It is one of the best areas to use for your session. Those who are not in the school, I think you can make your arrangements.
Mr. Ombiro.
Yes, please.
Last point.
Mr. Ombiro.
Yes, please, madam.
Can I come for a practical test in the afternoon?
Yes,
It is
yes,
afternoon already.
You come alone.
At 3. So that I can.
Mr.
Yes, you can come. You can come actually. That's okay.
Mr. Ombiro?
Yes, please.
Yes, now the staff room is locked and most of our books, everything is there. So I don't know if we can be given time to access like books and everything else without our knowledge and everything is inside there. I don't have anyone.
Mr. Mbidi can answer that, and I think Mr. Mbidi can clarify that. They can know.
Yes, I know the staff room is locked, but we can make arrangements for it to be open there. Yes, I'm saying, let me see, I think I've not muted. I'm saying I know the staff room is locked, but we can make arrangements for it to be open from today afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mbidi.
Mr. Ombiro?
Yes, Kibor.
Initially, the Zoom classes, when it began, used to take like 40 minutes maximum, and then it locks out. So this one, how many minutes will this take?
Thank you for asking that, and I think maybe we didn't speak on that. You can do your class 24 hours. This is a paid full version for 500 students, so you can run your class as long as possible. That is why our session has not timed out. We've been running for the last 1.5 hours. We've been on session like this, yeah, and and you have not been disconnected because of that. Madam Digirigi, umeuliza swali gani? All right, if there's no other question, I think we can bring the session to an end. And as we said, if you have any other question, you can always ask and we'll guide you.
Mr. Ombiro. Mr. Ombiro.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes,
Mr.
I
Mbalu.
have an issue.
Yes.
We need to give the terms of engagement as far as the students are concerned, which I think should be sent to the worlds. That is the terms of engagement. Like when the student is attending the class, they must put on the video, because some will just will just assume they are in class and then they are just doing their own things. Because when the video is off, I think we need to put the terms of engagement. That has to be communicated by the class teachers to all the students.
I think that's a good point. Because if you are in a session, if you yourself you should be seen, then the rest are better if they are seen. That's a good point. Class teachers, I'm sure you had it. It's for your personal engagement. Very good point, Mr. Maluka. Thank you. On that. Madam Owago. Esther.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Ulikuwa na swali?
I'm worried about people eating into others' lessons because it is timetabled. How can we ensure that we don't eat into others' lessons?
I think a very valid point. I even shared it earlier that that is what is likely to happen, especially with the challenges of connectivity. I think the biggest, maybe we can agree that if your session starts at 8, as a staff, if you started your session and you are online, let those ones who come at their own time, let them come in. There's always a tendency of saying, let's wait for a quorum, let's wait for, and the like. Chances are that is what's likely to happen. But also, we have about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So you can try to maybe utilize your first 10, 20 minutes to try and build up your quorum, make calls if you have to, and the like. But then you can utilize the rest of 1 hour to be dedicated for classes. This is going to be purely on our own personal management, and the like, to avoid again eating in someone else's time. Like in time, mwingine ikifika, then it means you have to log out. You have to stop the session and then log the next one. But then what we asked for is if you are the one running it, you may need to hand over the session because some sessions continue. They don't have to stop. There's no logging out. There's no break. So you have to hand over the host to the next person. those who will not try to hand over, it's possible for us to stop and reopen the session again to keep you out of being the host of that. But if your session is over, just hand over to the next person. It's easier that way.
Okay.
I think we can end it there. As you said, we can never finish the questions, but I think if you have any, this is going to be our first session. We'll try and get as much as possible. Otherwise, thank you very much. Lunch, you can talk to Mr. So-and-so in terms of lunch, but thank you very much. Yeah, staff room.
Boarding master services.
Boarding master services. That is is there, Mr. Kinyanjui? Peter, you'll advise us. Otherwise, do have a nice afternoon, and we wish to have a successful sessions from tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.
And mute people, we
Thank you.
Mute people, we talk.